of One Piece's biggest mysteries. Oda starting with one of the craziest flashbacks in all of One Piece, and it's going to include Rock's D X-Back. And going back, that is one of the oldest and biggest mysteries of all of One Piece. What connects all of these characters? Why is it so important that the Gorosei and Imu destroy these people once and for all? The very first mention that we get of the Will of D was all the way back in Drum Island when Dr. Kureha mentioned that Gold Roger wasn't actually Gold Roger, he was Gold D Roger. And she mentioned in the following panel that the Will of D lives on. And just as a side note, this is me having my conspiracy hat on, that there's a full moon in the sky, and it seems to be that whenever the Will of D is mentioned, or Joy Boy, that celestial bodies are brought up or have some sort of imagery. Most of the time we actually receive information about the Will of D, it's not from a character who even carries the initial D. And that might be by design. In a recent chapter, Imu even mentioned that D is the moniker of our ancient enemy. In recent times, it has cropped up more frequently. However, those who carry the name do not even know of its true meaning now. To which Sabo has a flashback and remembers that, wait a minute, why do you guys even have the D initial anyways? And then Luffy and Ace both dismiss it. If you want it so badly, we can give it to you. So we can clearly see that Imu and the Gorosei have motivation to remove all knowledge of the D. Now, Dressrosa wasn't my favorite saga, but I will say that a lot of world building came out of it because Corazon mentioned to Trafalgar Law, don't ever mention your middle initial is D in front of Doflamingo. And when I asked why, Corazon's response was, and in some places there are people who call themselves family of the D, sworn enemy of the gods. Say the god means the celestial dragons. The purpose of your people might be the destruction of the world. I mean, they kind of do have a point because at Enies Lobby, Luffy basically declared war on the world government, and those who have the initial D are pretty much basically mischievous, to say the least. Which brings us to Doflamingo. Doflamingo single-handedly seems like he has the most amount of hatred towards the family of D, because apparently they are the ones who are going to bring down the celestial dragons. And we've seen anyone that brings down the celestial dragons get shot in the head by none other than Dofi himself, even if they are, in fact, his own father. After the events of Dressrosa, while Dofi was on the ship in front of Suru and apparently having a nervous breakdown, he was basically dropping bars after bars and saying, who actually rules the seas? Is it the Yonkos? Is it the warlords? Is it the Navy? Is it the revolutionaries? Or is it the people who carry the Will of D? And they are a family, and they are out there somewhere, and who knows when they are going to come together. And apparently, Dovi, I know, speaks in parables, but the dude really does drop bars. Now, this isn't confirmed, but after the events of Dressrosa, when Law and Sengoku were having a conversation, it was basically confirmed that Fleet Admiral level individuals have an idea of what the Will of D is and how dangerous or mischievous these individuals could be. It's clear at this point that Imu and the Gorosei both have personal beef with whoever carries the Will of D. But where did it start out from? Is it just that Joy Boy left Imu and now she's like, oh, he got away, I gotta get him back for this, and she's been spending the past 800 years, or he has been spending the past 800 years trying to plot for a way to break this dude's heart or trying to get back at him? Or is it a lot more? For that, we have to actually go back to where it all started. A long time ago, in an ancient land. Yeah, wrong anime. So while King Cobra of Arabasta was sitting in front of Imu, keep in mind, the Gorosei are surrounding King Cobra, and they're basically waiting to jump this dude as soon as he brings up the Will of D and beat the shit out of him. So Lily served as the envoy from the Arabasta Kingdom during the formation of the world government about 800 years ago during the Void Century. And she played, apparently, a very crucial role in the conflict against the Great Kingdom, to which we actually have no idea what that is, along with the other 19 countries, ultimately leading their side to a victory. However, once the world government was established, Lily did not move to Merijoa with the other 19 fuckfaces, I mean celestial dragons, and she also refrained from putting the weapon or sword into the empty throne, the one that Imu conveniently sits on. in the Pangaea Castle Kingdom of Merijois. That's a mouthful. The world government basically believed that Lily had returned safely to her country, but in fact, she actually came back with the poneglyphs and basically said and wrote a letter to all of her descendants so that way they know how treacherous these motherfuckers actually are. So if you actually go to the One Piece wiki and look up the Will of D, you'll see that it's kind of spread out into families. The first family is the Gold D. Roger family with Ace, Portgas D. Rouge, and then Gold D. Roger. The second one is the Monkey family, Monkey D. Garp, Monkey D. Dragon, Monkey D. Luffy. But the one that's kind of important to me is the outlier ones, like Trafalgar Law or like Marshall D. Teach, Rox D. Exbeck. And the one that does not fit the most and surprisingly has the initial D, and I think is very crucial to the story because he was at Ohara, was definitely Jaguar D. Saul. He fits in all of this like a center pin. And we learned that in Egghead Island, he actually is alive and is in Elbaf. And what's actually funny, a little off topic, but we know how Oda likes to foreshadow this, is that he mentioned while talking to Nico Robin that not all giants are from Elbaf. He's actually from the South Blue, which is actually kind of strange. I know there are different tribes of giants, but why would you want to specify that? Are you trying to tell us there's something in the South Blue? I don't know, Oda. I just don't know. And when are you going to tell us? Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it so much. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. Let me know what you guys think down below.